But one thing we're going to be demanding is we're going to be demanding respect from other nations. Canada, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. We're not going to have that anymore. We can't do it. I don't know if it's good for them. As you probably know, I say you can always become a state. And if you're a state, we won't have a deficit. We won't have to tariff you, et cetera, et cetera. But Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years. And it's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit. We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas. We have more than anybody.
Donald Trump has announced that he wants a golden age for the American economy. That means they're going to need more energy, more minerals, more steel and aluminum, more lumber, more concrete, more of the things that Canada is already sending them as a reliable and trustworthy partner. If he does move forward on tariffs on Canada, as he has said, whether it be back on January 20th or on February 1st or February 15th as a Valentine's Day present, or on April 1st, or whenever he says he's going to do it, as he keeps repeating, two things will happen. One, Canada will have a strong, robust response, because we don't want this, but we will respond if necessary. And two, prices for American consumers on just about everything will go up. And we don't think he wants that. So we're going to be there. He has talked about the border as being a great preoccupation for him. We have highlighted that less than 1% of illegal drugs coming into the United States, less than 1% of migrants going into the United States come from Canada. But we're still investing over $1 billion in strengthening our borders. And as an illustration of what we've been saying all along, Toronto Police and the Border Services Agency just seized about 835 kilograms of cocaine coming in from the United States into Canada via Mexican cartels. So we have challenges at our border on both sides of the border, and we are there to work constructively with them on this issue.
Have you spoken lumber? Trump says he doesn't need Canadian lumber and oil. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, what I take from when I was there, and I was with governors, I was sitting with governors and a number of military leaders, one thing is clear is that to achieve the ambition of the president, Canada is the indispensable partner when it comes to energy, when it comes to national resources, when it comes to integrated supply chain. You cannot change these supply chains over time. The president has a very clear agenda. He wants to get things quickly. He wants results. The best way to achieve results is to have partner with Canada. We're not rivals. We're partner. And we're just not the nice neighbor of the North. We want to be the strategic partner of choice, and that's why we will go in this negotiation with strength. We'll go there with confidence, and we have a lot to offer, so this is the way we should be. I just hope that Canada would be ambitious. That's what we need. We need more ambition. We have what it needs to succeed. Let's gather. You know, I'm always reminded by CDR, which was the Minister of Industry after the Second World War. This was a wake-up call for the nation at the time. This is that kind of wake-up call. Let's gather together. Let's build a country. Let's be more nimble, faster, strategic. Let's get things done, and then we'll come in a position. Are you going to run your riding again?
Well, also, first and foremost, our engagement with the U.S. continues. I had a 30-minute conversation with the newly confirmed Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, yesterday night. We spoke about our bilateral relationship. Of course, I raised the threat of tariffs against Canada, and I made the case not only to defend Canadian jobs, but to clearly say that this would have an impact that would be hurting Americans themselves. We will participate in the process that is highlighted in the executive order that was signed by President Trump on Monday. And we both agreed on meeting next week, so I'll be heading to Washington next week to meet with Marco Rubio and to further the conversations. Of course, in the context of that meeting next week and that trip next week, I will be meeting other key Republican senators. This will be my 5th visit to the U.S. and meeting the Trump administration since the election. So the work continues.
Are you seeing any clarity from the U.S. administration about a potential deadline for tariffs?
As you know, we're working with the February 1st
deadline, and we are also understanding that that report on continental trade will come out around April 1st. So we are ready at all times with our tranches of counter tariffs should it be necessary. But as I've said, we need to think of this as a marathon, not a sprint, and we need to maintain an even and steady keel, and that's exactly what we will be doing.